video, I'm going to show you how to work with Lula Build's Supplier Adjudication module. So when pricing a job, it is quite common to have to source quotes for resources from different suppliers. You then need to effectively compare these quotes to each other to see which supplier will be the cheapest and to then apply those quotes to your estimate. So Lula Build's Supplier Adjudication module provides the tooling to do this effectively. So as an example, let's say we've got a job where we need to find quotes for all of our tiles. So I've already created all of the tiling resources and I've already defined a few suppliers. So let's say we have asked London Tiles and Tiling World for their quotes, which they've sent back to us, which we now need to compare. So we can switch over to Lula Build's Supplier Adjudication module, which is currently empty. And we can then create a new adjudication by clicking on the plus add button at the bottom of the table. This then adds an adjudication to the table, and we can edit this by double clicking it. And we can change the name of this adjudication from the info tab, and we can call it something like tiling adjudication. Right, we then need to insert the resources that we're going to adjudicate by clicking the plus resources button, which will bring up the full resource list, which you can then filter. So let's search for our tiles, and we can then select all of those tiles and click next to insert them into the adjudication. All right, then we need to attach the suppliers who we will be asking for quotes. So I'm going to open up my suppliers action tab and click the attach button. And then we can select London Tiles and Tiling World as the two suppliers. That will then automatically provide a space for you to fill in the quotes from these different suppliers. And you've got the option to either pull in these quotes directly from Excel, or you can fill them in manually. So for London Tiles, I'm going to import those quotes from Excel. So let's say they've sent us a quotation that looks something like this, where they've given us the resources with their price for that resource per square. So we can directly import that by clicking the import rates button, and you can either import it from Excel or CSV. So I'm just going to import it from Excel. Navigate to the file, open, and then it brings up the importing dialog where you need to identify the columns to Lula Build. So we can click on the drop down, and this is the resource code, and that's all we really need to identify this resource. So we can ignore these two columns. And this is then the supplier base rate. And if we select that, Lula's going to ask us which supplier we're referring to. So let's say this was for London Tiles. Click next. And then we're done setting it up. And we can click next, which will then automatically import the rates from London Tiles for us into this adjudication. All right, so based on this quantity, we can now see how much London Tiles will be charging us for this quote. All right, we can then compare this to Tiling World, which I'm just going to fill in manually. So let's say Tiling World is charging us £36 per square for the floor tiles. And let's say they are charging us £41 for the shower floor tiles. And let's say they're charging us £48 for the shower wall tiles. All right, so we can now compare these two by looking at their totals, and we can see that London Tiles is a little bit cheaper than Tiling World. They're coming in at £2,598, whereas Tiling World is coming in at £2,646. So if we're buying all of the tiles from one supplier, it'll make sense to buy it from London Tiles. So if we're happy with this, we can then apply this adjudication. And what that'll do is it'll take the rates of our selected supplier, it'll push it through to the resource rates, and automatically your full estimate will be updated. All right, so I'm going to click on the apply adjudication button. And here you've got a few options. So either you can take the lowest rate for each resource from any of the suppliers, or you can pick one supplier with the lowest quoted total, which in this case is London Tiles, or you can manually specify which supplier we're going to use. So I'm just going to use London Tiles. I'm going to click apply. And automatically, if I now switch over to my resource list, you'll see that those allowables have now been updated to the rates of London Tiles, and automatically my full bill of quantities has been adjusted. So this can really speed up the way in which you work. and it's quite a convenient module to use. So that's all for today, and thanks for joining us.